G'day, I'm Joel Rasmussen from Fight News Australia, and today, ahead of his pro debut, I'm talking to Mr. Tasar Malone. Tasar, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you very much, Joel. Thank you so much for having me on board. I'm super
Absolutely.
excited.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. We were just talking a little bit before we started the interview about we were talking about your as it will be a little bit visible on the interview because the overlay your phone is labeled the champion's iPhone, and we were talking about seeing things into reality, and what's the word for that? That's like envisioning. I'll go with. How important does
Yeah,
that play a
envisioning.
role?
Yeah, look, I'm definitely a big believer and the type of person where if you speak it out and you believe it and you write it down, you see these things over time, it slowly keeps accumulating and building more energy and strength behind that vision or that belief. So, yeah, I always get a couple of people laughing at me when they airdrop me photos or something and they see the champion's iPhone come up and they say, "Is this your phone?" And I say, "Yeah, that's me." So yeah, it's just one of those small little one percenters where even just as simple as the name of a phone, but just believing it and seeing it, that would be me. So
Do you have any daily rituals of stuff like that? Things you may repeat to yourself daily or anything like that?
um, there's definitely like my breath work. I've been working with a fella lately, Alex Butchies, who has got me doing some breathwork exercises and stuff each day, and that's sort of I guess like a daily ritual. But then also, yeah, I guess like mindset or starting the day by like thinking some good positive thoughts, especially on days where your body's aching, you're really sore or something. I feel like those times you really need to, I guess, pump yourself up or remind yourself of who you are or what your purpose or choice that you're going about each day is to then remind yourself of why you're doing something or what you're doing, and then that gets me going. If that sort of answers that, but yeah, just on the, I wouldn't say every day I need to, but on days especially when I'm a bit flatter, I'll look myself in the mirror or something and remind myself of who I am and what my goals are and what I'm setting out to do. So yeah.
Talking about those kind of harsher days, as I mentioned at the top of the interview, this is the jump from amateur MMA to pro MMA. How are you feeling? How is camp going?
Yeah, camp's been super, like really good. I'm super excited for this next step in my career. I've been working closely with all the coaches here. We've been putting in a lot of work, so I'm feeling great. Looking forward to next Saturday, and yeah, just can't wait. There's just a couple more things we obviously need to do in the lead up, and then yeah, once we're there, it's all the fun begins. And oh, it's been fun the whole way through, to be honest. But yeah, then the nights there.
How is the camp differ from an amateur camp?
I'd say like the intensity definitely has risen, and a lot more like specific. Um, in the amateurs, I wouldn't necessarily that it was like say that there's a big difference, but like I wouldn't say that. But I guess more so when it gets professional, you get to unlock things like with the elbows, which has been something I've been, hanging for, and I guess like yeah that, and then also yeah, it's just being more specific on what areas we need to work on and build, and holes in my game that I need to like strengthen. I guess yeah, breaking it down into smaller pieces has been more of like a focus.
Talking about that, about you're unlocking. You can now use elbows. There's now knees to the head. Has that changed a lot of your maybe a game plan heading into a fight? There's more things to think about, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's both the same for him and myself or my opponent that I'm fighting. Is that yeah, he gets to use those as well now. So yeah, you're 100% right. It's something that I need to be cautious of, especially in certain positions, say. But yeah, I don't know. I guess to me, it's been like the thing that I love about martial arts and MMA specifically, is that you have so many different tools to use. And it was one of those things where like I still felt in the amateurs that one of my tools was in the toolbox that I wasn't allowed to use yet. So I sort of was like waiting for the pro debut and to unlock that final piece to then use like one more thing potentially in areas where they work great in. So yeah, I feel like it's now you're unlimited fully, unlocked fully or whatnot. So yeah, looking forward to it all. And obviously, it's something, as I said, that I need to be cautious of and make sure my defense is tidy for those as well. But yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, not only is this is your first pro camp, but you've also recently changed camps entirely, right? Like within the last 2 fights?
Yeah, so my last fight was the first one with CMBT, and this is now my second one with them as well. Coming from in the past, I'd been with Shindo New Breed, and yeah, learned tons and tons there, and built my majority of my amateur career there, and then yeah, sort of just changed over, I believe, within the last 8 to 11 months. I'm really not too great on dates and times and stuff. I'll be honest, but yeah, my last camp was with CMBT. It was cracker. Had a very good performance. Got the finish, and then yeah, now we've started the pro career, and everything's ramped up, and we're looking to do the exact same come Saturday night.
Well, talking about the amateur career, 10 amateur fights before making the jump to pro. That's like a really nice round number. 10 is like a solid number. Was that the goal? Did you say, I want to get a certain amount of amateurs before I jump to pro?
No, I don't think there should be like a specific number for people. It's very, like, my belief is that it's very much individual of when someone feels like they're ready, when they've got enough experience and whatnot. I started off my amateur career going 4-0, red hot, and then I had a 3-fight skid where I took 3 losses in a row, and it then made me, like, each loss made me reflect and look on myself. But then the third one, especially, I started to question, like, is this what I want to do? 3 losses in a row. Maybe I've got lots and lots of years ahead of me to work on before even looking at turning professional and whatnot. But then, I stuck strong and listened to the little voice in my head that believed in myself, of like, no, you can do this. You are there. Get back on the horse. So I had a couple more fights. I think I lost one, then lost another, and then won the last one. And then by that point, and given my age, not that I'm old, but I was like, I feel ready to step it up and jump up to the next level, and start putting my name on the whole Australian scene, and after that the world. So yeah, I just said, you know what, like, let's do it. I've got great people around me, phenomenal coaches, and people that back and support me. So yeah, with all that, I was like, we're gonna just go 100 mile an hour and flat out for this.
Heading into that last amateur fight, did you know that after that you were going to turn pro, or was it even a decision you made after that?
It was quite on the spot, I guess, of like, I hadn't set out that one was going to be the one that then I was going to go pro. But look, this has been a dream of mine since I was 5 years old, that I was going to become a professional athlete, and make a career out of the sport. The sport has changed along the way, but it was at a point, as I said before, where I felt like I was ready, and it was finally time to achieve that dream, and then set the next one and keep working towards. So yeah, I had that win. Felt like I was ready for the next stage. I could be wrong in saying this, but a lot of people maybe spend too long, or maybe they don't believe in themselves enough to. And then I guess there is the other side of the coin where some people maybe pull the trigger too early. But yeah, I felt like my timing was right and I was in a good place. So yeah, just I wanted to make the call after that last fight, let people know that yeah, look out, I'm coming.
Looking at your amateur record, 6 amateur wins, 6 stoppages, and 50-50 between submissions and TKO/KOs. When watching your fights, I noticed great use of grappling. What about like grappling drew you in so much? Because it seems to be what you like to use the most.
Like a few people do say that, and it is something that, as you said, there has been 50-50 now on my finishes between the TKOs, the striking, and the grappling. I felt like I've always wanted to be well-rounded. I want to be like a complete circle, be comfortable wherever it goes, whether it's on the feet, whether it's wrestling, whether it's on the ground, just to have tools and answers in all those areas. And I guess just by the opponents I've versed, I've found that, like, yeah, some of them have been from strikes, and then a lot of them have been from, or as you said, 50-50 from the submissions. Yeah, I guess I just enjoy it all. I see where it goes, what my opponent's strengths are, so I don't want to obviously be battling someone in their stronger areas. Is where I'm more comfortable, whether that's on the feet, whether that's on the ground, whether that's wrestling. As I said, with the martial arts, the thing that I love about it is that there's so many different layers to it, and it's, you got to be smart in where you play your cards and what you do given each person.
You mentioned it a little bit before about your dream has to be an athlete since you were 5 years old. But you said the sport has changed. What sports were you looking at throughout your kind of athletic career, if you can say athletic career, from 5 years old?
Yeah, well, it started with soccer ball at my feet, running around, telling my parents and family that I was going to be the next Cristiano Ronaldo. And then years down the track, it then changed. I think maybe when I was like 13 or 14 to AFL. I played that for a few years, and then I was starting to get into some higher levels with that, and looking at playing like seniors and potentially getting drafted. Worked my tail off, thought that was going to happen, and it was all going to go from there. Fell short. I'm a big believer that everything happens for a reason. And what that did for me was it then allowed me to look elsewhere. A friend introduced me to MMA. I'd never heard of it before. I'd never really been like a fighter or done any sort of martial arts beforehand. And then, yeah, he introduced me to MMA. I did one training session and fell in love with the sport and with martial arts in general. And and the rest is history. Now we're here. Now I'm talking to you about my professional debut coming up. So it's a wild, crazy world we live in, and you can never really connect the dots looking forwards. But yeah, looking backwards, it's interesting to see how we get to places.
Even though, as you said it yourself, you didn't have an interest in necessarily martial arts, you hadn't really known about it before. Coming from like an athletic background, how did you pick it all up?
How did I pick the martial arts up?
Yeah, like was it easy to go from being an Aussie rules player to the martial arts? Was there difficulty? Like, what was learning it like?
My personal experience, I found that it did help a lot having a, a good base of just like um, say like your balance, your body composure, things with like jumping and movement and agility. I've always been someone that's loved, physical stuff and training and sports and anything. Give me a racket and a ball, and I'll go give it a red hot crack. And I'm always just out in nature and doing things that are very much with the body and the temple. So then, yeah, I felt that like the transition was a lot smoother than some that wouldn't have had that might find. But as anyone that does martial arts knows, there's so much to it. So it's a never-ending game of learning and growth. And there was a lot, obviously walking in not knowing anything. There was just endless amounts, and there still is just so much to learn and know, which is something that excites me. I love that sort of aspect to it.
Talking about that, you mentioned, wanting to be an athlete from 5 years old, obviously a lifelong athlete. Along with that, your sister is also an Olympian, correct?
Yeah, she is. Yes.
What's that like, having an Olympian in the family?
It's extreme. I'm extremely proud of her. It's such a beautiful and an amazing achievement for her. And yeah, it brings me to tears sometimes when I watch her. When she goes out and represents her country, and you can see her just smiling on the field and just loving what she's doing. You really sit back and think about like the whole journey of where she started and where we all started from, and to work her butt off and get to those levels is just something that's truly amazing. Lifelong achievement, and yeah, cannot be prouder.
Does
We
that, sorry, continue.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, does that help with your own training then when you go, well, if my sister can do this, then I can definitely achieve something?
Yeah, we're always like in a good way, but like staring at each other and saying like pushing each other to work harder, or if one of us is slacking off or something, we'll sort of get in the other one's ear and say, "Come on, like, um, you know, put the shoes on, let's go running," or get back on the horse and stuff like that. So it is good little healthy competition. I love it a bit, but yeah, we keep things fun as well, like on each other's sometimes. So yeah, it's good.
That it does nothing but help from what I'm hearing. If it keeps you disciplined, it's good.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, as I said before, I can't be any more proud of the amazing things that she's done and achieved, and she inspires so many, younger and older people, and inspire myself to go out and achieve their dreams. Because I could be wrong in saying this, but I believe we all have them. And yeah, I guess being someone to send out a message to other people to no matter what, keep working, keep chasing your passion and keep chasing your dreams, and eventually one day they can come true.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about something I found very interesting. The last time you fought, when entering the cage, you didn't decide to go through the cage door. You instead decided to scale the cage and climb over the top. And it's not the most well put question, but more or less, why?
um as I said before, man, I come from the bush. I'm very much a nature man. I love climbing things. I love exploring, being different angles, different looks. I don't want to. I've never been one to sort of do that. So, most people or all people walk through the cage doors and enter the cage like that. And I was like, hey, I'm Tasar. I'm going to climb the cage and enter the cage like that. So I guess that's, I didn't really think about it too much. I just did it instinctively. So if that answers that question.
It definitely does. Always good to be your true self.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. It's when you're the most real. So yeah.
So looking forward towards this fight, what are the emotions? As you know, we're just over a week out now until you make your professional debut. What affairs are left to get in order, and what are we going to do looking forward?
I guess there's like a little bit of admin stuff that we need to do. And then obviously like a little bit of weight, sort of like coming into that fight week. But besides that, a lot of the work's been done already. It's more so, yeah, just getting the body tip top, making weight, yeah, getting the last little bits of admin done. I'm super excited. I'd be lying if I said that I don't think about it often or feel sort of some feels inside me or whatnot about it. But yeah, working with some certain people in regards to visualization and being present in the moment, putting yourself there already, these things like that help me deal with all those emotions and chemical things going off inside of me, to then just enjoy the moment and be present. Like I'm very much someone that believes that tomorrow's never promised, and the past is behind us. So all I have right now is this present moment, and I just want to live super happy, doing what I love doing, chasing my dreams, experiencing it all, soaking every little bit up, and just going out and doing the best I possibly can be, and being proud of myself and being proud of my team.
Excellent. I'm happy to hear that. I've got one final question for you. It doesn't have to be what you will be walking out to not this Saturday, next Saturday, but for Tasar Malone, what is your ultimate walkout song?
um, this actually is one of the hardest things. I don't like picking. I'm very like indecisive on this, and I feel like it's one of those things where I'll never know until the last minute it comes to me, and then I'm like, "Yep, that'll do. That's what we're going to run with." I haven't even thought about or picked this walkout song coming up. I try not to really put too much effort or energy onto it. So I'm sorry, brother. I don't have an answer for you. The ultimate walkout song. I guess each one's just going to be different, maybe, or maybe one will stick for good. But yeah, we'll have to wait and find out on that one.
I was going to say, we will see on March 18th or 19th? 19th.
March 18th.
March 18th. Sorry about that.
March 18th.
We will see on March 18th, and whatever you walk out to, that will get added to the playlist.
I'm keen. Super excited, super pumped.
Excellent. Tasar, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Joel. Thank you very much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure and love chatting to you.
Absolutely. I'm sure I'll talk to you again soon, and good luck to you and your team and everyone involved.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you, guys.